Welcome to my Sitecore Diaries. This is additional pages series. We will continue from the last video. In last video, we have seen the top 10 Sitecore best practices. We will see few more best practices in this video. Let me introduce myself. I am Jitendra Ghanekar. I am Sitecore 10.NET certified developer and working as a Sitecore architect and consultant in Mumbai. So let's start Sitecore best practices. First thing which we have seen in last video also, that we should follow the helix architecture. This tells you that when you are following the helix architecture, the naming convention which you are using, you should follow that in the content tree also. So you have a layouts, media libraries, systems, marketing control panel, templates, branch template, global resources, multi-site setting. So all those you should follow the helix folder naming convention. The folder naming should be same as what you are doing it in your solution. Okay, so that naming should match and you should follow everywhere the naming convention. Okay, the folder structure also. Okay, project, feature, project, foundation, those folder structures should be followed in the layouts, media library, system, marketing control, templates, global resources, multi-site. So overall in the content tree. Next one is organize your project templates with proper folder structure. Okay, so when you create your template, there are different kind of templates you will create. There are templates which you will use for as a page template, okay, which will have a presentation detail. There are some templates which you will use as a content templates where there is no presentation but it stored the data. Similarly, you have a configuration templates, a rating parameter templates, base template. So you should create a separate folder for each type of a templates. Okay, so you should have a configuration templates folder. Inside that only the configuration items will be there. Content templates folder, inside that only the content items will be there. Page template folder, inside that you will have a page item. Similarly, you have a rating parameter templates and base templates. Next best practice, make sure foundation folder contains projects related to project reference each other as needed, deal with the suite of a templates or a type of integration, no renderings, layouts or web API inside the foundation folder. So you should follow the helix rule and you should make sure the foundation folder which you are creating, which contains the project, first of all this project which are getting referenced in the another project. So feature project which are referring, then it should go to the foundation. Okay, so then there is a there will be a type of integration project, those also you should go foundation, which can be used somewhere else also, which can be referred in some other features also. And then you should make sure that there is no rendering or layouts or web API in the foundation folder. So you should follow the foundation folder structure properly. Then make sure your project folder contains the project related to site and support projects that assemble the site. Second is the composition of the site, no renderings or component implemented in this layer, layout templates and site-wide placeholder setting, base page hierarchy. So basically the things which are required to assemble the website, those projects should go into the project folder. These are project specific things should go in the project folder. There should not be any feature related, no renderings, no component should be there. Okay, and then you should have a features project where you should have a feature folder should contain projects related to, first thing it should have components. So clearly defined component, renderings and web API should be there in the feature folder. So this is also basically a helix extension of a helix only. Okay, this best practice, but it is bit in detail that when you are following the helix, you make sure that you are following their rules also. You make sure that whatever the folders which you are creating, foundation, project and feature, those are correct projects are getting added in that folders. Okay, so these are the best practices. If you move ahead, next thing is the regarding the search. So check if you are following the thumb rule for the search. Okay, so what is the thumb rule for the search? When you to use Sitecore queries, if you are searching less than 10 items, if you are searching less than 10 items, go for a Sitecore query. Fast query, when you will use a fast query, searching less than 100 items, then you should go for a fast query. By default, you should use a content search API. So by default you should use a content search API. So make sure that you are using most of the time content search API. Okay, then use standard values for below. So whenever you are creating any template, you make sure you are created a standard value that we are discussing top 10 best practice. Also in that standard value you should be adding the presentation details, insert values and default values for every template. You should have this. You should have a default presentation detail, you should have a default insert option, you should have a default values for that template. Set up a clean process, ideally automatically, for recycle bin, unused item and unused media. This is something which is we generally ignore. Okay, once we develop the website for a as a maintenance for the maintenance purpose, or a maintenance activity, you should make sure that your recycle bin is cleaned regularly, your unused items are removed, unused media items are removed, and this ideally this should be set up as a automatic job. Okay, now that job you can write in different ways. You can use a PowerShell script, you can write your C# code, or you can use anything which will make this system automatic, and you should automatically periodically clean these things. We will have one video on the we will create one video on the this process, okay, where we will discuss what are the different activities which we should be doing regularly. I will add that in my to-do list, we will create that video also. Okay, let's move. So next best practices are related to the performance. The first thing is no more than 100 items per folder. So if you are adding items inside a folder, or you are adding a child item inside a item, then make sure that you are not crossing 100 items. Okay, so if you are crossing that, then think about a bucketing. Okay, or think about the restructuring of your second thing is a limit the number of version of any item to the lowest fewest possible. So when you are seeing the items which you are editing, so content editor might be creating the number of version, like they're creating a new version for every edit. Okay, so make sure that that is fewest as much as fewest as well possible. Maximum the site code recommends 10, but you try to keep it low as possible. You should use a drop link over a drop list. Why? The drop list stores the text of an option, which could make a referential integrity problematic. So use a drop link. Then you should be using the tree list X, Y. So tree list control over a tree list Y. So tree list controls will load all items in that field on the item selection. Okay. While the tree list X ones will only do that the selection is being edited, or increase that will increase the content editor load speed and general performance also. So that is the reason why you should be using tree list X over the tree list. Then implement switch on the rebuild strategy with SOLR. Use child list instead of a children property of a parent item in a for. So if you're taking a child, then use the child list. Okay, instead of using the for loop, always use the child list to improve the performance. Check and tune the sitecode caches at least once a quarter. So see, once you set up the sitecode caches, it doesn't mean it is the final one. You should regularly monitor those and tune those caches. Okay, so at least once in a quarter you should be doing that. Disable the sitecode performance counter on CD server. Okay, that is one of the steps when you are going live. Then you should be disabling the sitecode performance on the CD servers. Regularly clean up and rebuild the linked database. That is also one of the problems. So this is also a regular maintenance activity you should be adding in your queue, that you should be doing a regular cleanup and rebuild linked database on your website. Next one, make sure rich text editor is used as the last option. It should be avoided. So whenever you are designing your template, you should try to avoid the rich text editor. Okay, rich text editor where user is adding the HTML. Okay, so there is a high chances of breaking the UI. Okay, so you should avoid that, and also it is breaking your separation of concern thing also, because you are giving a free hand to a content editor to create the HTML. Okay, then use GUIDs wherever possible instead of path and name. Okay, use field IDs to reference fields instead of field names. Use link manager to get a URL of an item. So whenever you want to get the URL, always use the link manager, use the options which are available in that. Then use proper fallback for language and renderings. We have discussed this in top 10 also, top 10 best practices. You should be having the proper multi-site, multi-country structure. In that we discuss about the fallback we should apply for languages and rendering. Use one layout per device. Okay, apply security roles rather than users. Okay, this is also very important. You should apply the security rules, permission to the roles, not the users. Okay, and you should add the user in those roles. Okay, you should associate those users to those roles. Use branch templates wherever possible and needed. Okay. Then remove unwanted projects from the sample habitat. So sometimes what happen, you take the sample habitats from GitHub and you utilize that habitat as it is. There might be a lot of projects which are not in use. You will see hundreds of projects in habitat. You might not be using those projects. So make sure that when you copy the habitat, you remove the unwanted projects. Okay. Then control rendering should be used full qualified types. Okay, you should have in control rendering you should have the namespace and assembly name. They are fully qualified type should be used. Make sure all assemblies are referred from the NuGet package. This is also most important thing, that generally what happens is we have a tendency to refer the DLLs from the folders. Okay, so avoid that. Use NuGet packages. Configure all Sitecore assemblies to copy local to false. This is also we generally miss. If you do not put this the assemblies copy local to false, what will happen is every time your instance, your higher environment instance will be the DLLs, the assemblies will get replaced from your local environment. So avoid that by adding the copy local to false. Make sure app underscore config folder structure properly with the correct naming convention. So the Sitecore has provided a different structure, different layers. Try to utilize that layers. Then there is a layers.config file. You can have a load order. So define everything as per the proper structure in the app config folder. Okay, then you make sure you are not making a change in Sitecore configuration directly. This is also one of the top 10 best practices which we have discussed, where you should be using the patch file. And why we should be using the patch file, because we should not be making any changes in Sitecore configuration directly. Okay, so if you are doing that, then it's a wrong practice. You should avoid that. Then add icons to your templates. It's a simple one, but again, if people miss it because it's very simple thing, and it looks like it is not what do you say, it is not affecting any functionality, but it will make your content editor life easy, that he will understand the complete structure with the icon itself. Okay, so these are the few best practices which I have included in this video. In future we will have few more. Okay, but for now I'm stopping here today. Okay, so we are done for today. If you have any question, you can email me on my Gmail ID. Okay, this is my Gmail ID, jitu_cms@gmail.com. You can ping me on the LinkedIn also. Till now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please click on a bell icon to get a latest update. And if you like the video, please click on the like button. Please share it with your friends, and do provide your feedback over a comment. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for watching.